Welcome to Philemathics series. In this video, we are going to look at the solution to 2024 NECO objective mathematics question. Stay tuned. The first question says, express 384.126 to the nearest 100. Nearest 100 for this case simply means this number before the point. So this is the nearest unit, nearest 10, nearest 100. And so for us to approximate it to the nearest 100, we consider the next digit, which is 8 and more than 5, and so we round up and add to 3. This becomes 400 to the nearest 100. Question 2 says, if A is in natural numbers between 3 and 15, find the cardinality of A. How many elements are in A? So we want to pay attention to this between. Between means 3 and 15 are not included. And so you want to look at those elements in A. A will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How many elements are here? That is what the cardinality of A means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the cardinality of A is simply 11 and not 13. If you include this and this, it means what the question will be is, if A is in natural numbers from 3 to 15, find the cardinality of A. That is when it will be 13. 3 says, evaluate 3241 base 5 minus 1342 base 5. Let's see how it goes. 3241 and 1342 base 5 base 5. Just to remind you, if this were our normal base 10, which is 3241, because we use base 10 for our daily calculation, remember how we do it. 1 minus 2, it cannot, you borrow 1 here, add it here, it becomes 10. Why is it 10 and not 1 since you are borrowing 1? It's because we are working on base 10, which is our normal daily addition and subtraction. So if add it here, it becomes 10. 10 plus 1, 11. So it's 11 minus 2, 9. This is 3. 3 minus 4, it cannot. You borrow 1 here, add it here, it becomes 13 and not 4. 13 minus 4 is 9. Here is remaining 1. 1 minus 3, it cannot. Borrow 1 from here, add it here. Remember, in base 10, when you borrow 1, that 1 is 10. So 10 plus 1, 11. 11 minus 3, 8. Remaining 2 here. 2 minus 1, 1. So this is our normal base 10 calculation. Now, in base 5, when you borrow 1, that 1 is 5 because we are working in base 5. So 1 minus 2, it cannot. Borrow 1 from here, add it here. The one you borrow is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 minus 4, 2 is 4. We are left with 3 here. 3 minus 4, it cannot. Borrow 1 from here, add it here. The one you borrow is 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. We are left with 1 here. 1 minus 3, it cannot. Borrow 1 from here, add it here. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. We are left with 2 here. 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is the answer in base 5. Question 4 says, simplify 4 root 3 minus 6 times 4 root 3 plus 6. So what you should know here is difference of 2 square. So from difference of 2 square, we know that A minus B times A plus B is simply A square minus B square. So we have this here. We just simply apply this. So this will be 4 root 3 all square minus 6 all square. 4 root 3 all square. How you do it is 4 square times root 3 square. 4 square is 16. Root 3 square, this we cancel this root, is 3. Minus 6 square is 36. 16 times 3 is 48 minus 36. So 48 minus 36 is simply 12. So this is the answer. Number 5 says the third term of a geometric progression is minus 5. Remember, a geometric progression is sequence of numbers that increases or decreases by a common ratio, by a multiplicative effect. And the seventh term is minus 80. Find the common ratio. So recall that the nth term of a GP is simply a arrow n minus 1, where a is the first term, arrow is the common ratio, n is the number of term. So the third term is, we're not given the first term, we're not given the common ratio. 3 minus 1 is 2. So the third term is minus 5. And the seventh term is simply a arrow 7 minus 1, 6, equals minus 80. Let's call this equation 1 and this equation 2. Since at the left hand side what we have is product and not sum or difference, what we will do is we can say equation 2 divided by equation 1. Unlike in simultaneous equation where we have plus or minus here, and we'll say equation 2 minus equation 1. So equation 2 divided by equation 1, that will give us a arrow to power 6 over a arrow to power 2 equals minus 80 over minus 5. A can cancel A. From laws of indices, when you divide two numbers with the same base, you just simply subtract their powers. So this will be arrow to power 6 minus 2. Minus can cancel minus. 5 into 8 is 1. Into 30 is 6. So this is 16. 6 minus 2 is 4. So this is arrow to power 4. And we can put 16 in base 2 as 2 to power 4. If I take 4th root of both sides, I will get arrow to be 4th root of 2 to power 4. This cancels this, so that my arrow is 2. Question 6 says, a man with an annual salary of 1.3 million is to pay a tax of 22%. Calculate his tax if his allowances amount to 137,000. That's a lot. So for us to do this, we need to know what his taxable income is, because tax is being melted on taxable income and not his annual salary. So his taxable income is simply his annual salary minus his allowances, which is 1.3 million minus 137,000. If we subtract this, we'll get 1,163,000. So he's going to pay 22% of this amount. So his tax will simply be 22 over 100 times 1163 over 1. This 0 can cancel this. And so if we times 22 by 11630, we'll get 255,860. 255,860. That is tax. 7 says a wire of length 25 cm was measured by a student to be 24.4 cm. Find the percentage error. The formula for percentage error says the true value minus the approximate value over the true value times 100%. So the true value is 25, approximate is 24.4 over the true 25 times 100%. So if we subtract this, we'll get 0.6 over 25 times 100 over 1. 25 can go here 4 times, and 4 times 0.6 is 2.4%. Question 8 says, how many years will 12,000 saved in a bank amount to 12,960 at 2% per annum simple interest? So we know the principal, we know the amount, we know the percent, we don't know the simple interest. And the interest or the simple interest is simply the amount minus the principal. And the amount is 12,960 minus 12,000. This gives us 960 naira. Now, we're looking for the time. We recall that simple interest is principal times rate times time over 100. And so, for us to get time, time is simply 100 times simple interest over principal times rate. This is 100 times simple interest we have gotten is 960 over principal is 12,000 and rate is 2. 0 can cancel 0. 2 can go 96 as 48, and 12 can go 48 4 times. So it is just simply 4 years. Question 9 says rationalize 5 over root 2 plus root 3. And how we do rationalize is simply multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. And by conjugate, it simply means changing this plus in between to minus. So this will give us 5 over root 2 plus root 3 times the conjugate of this is root 2 minus root 3. Root 2 minus root 3. We just multiplied by 1 because this is simply 1. So if we multiply, we'll get 5 root 2 minus 5 root 3. At the denominator, we see difference of 2 square. And from difference of 2 square, we know that this is root 2 square minus root 3 square. This gives us, can just leave the 5 outside. 5 root 2 minus root 3. Root 2 square is 2. Root 3 square is 3. And our final answer is simply 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Simply minus 5 root 2 minus root 3. Or you can take the minus inside to be 5 root 3 minus root 2. Question 10 says, in a class of 80 students, every student studies mathematics or geography or both. If 65 students studying mathematics and 50 study geography, how many study both subjects? So if we sketch the Venn diagram, so the universal set has total of 80 students and we have only 2 sets. Let M represent mathematics, and we are told that 65 study mathematics and 50 study geography, 50. And these 50 that study geography, some of them may also study mathematics, and these 65 that study mathematics, some of them may also study geography. So we represent, let's call those that study both as S. So those that only study mathematics are simply 65 minus X, and those that only study geography are 50 minus X. And so for us to find how many people study both subjects, we have to sum all this and they have to equal the total number of students in the class. Let's go. So we should have 65 minus x plus 50 minus x should equal 80. This x can go with this. 65 plus 50 is 115 minus x equals 80. I can take this x to the right hand side and take 80 to the left. We'll have 115 minus 80 equals x. 115 minus 80 is simply 35. So our x will be 35 students. So 35 students studied both maths and geography. 11 says the 11th term of an arithmetic progression is 63. Find the first term if its common difference is 3. Remember, an arithmetic progression is a sequence of number that either increase or decrease by a common difference. So the nth term of an AP is simply a plus n minus 1d. We are told that the 11th term will be 11 minus 1 is 63. So this is 11th term. We are not given the first term. The number of terms 11 minus 1, common difference is 3. And we are told that it is 63. So this is a plus 11 minus 1 is 10. So we have a plus 30 equals 63. And a is simply 63 minus 30. A is 33. So the first term is 33. And so if you continue to add 3, which is a common difference, 11 times, you should get 63, which is the 11th term. 12 says evaluate 15 times 26 in modulo 5. You know, in modulus, what we look at for is how numbers are related. Just like a clock, when it hits 12, it begins again from 1. So some people use 24-hour clock. So 13 o'clock is similar, or 13 p.m. is similar to 1 p.m. or it depends for those using 24-hour clock. So what we simply do here is to multiply these two normally and then divide it by 5 and check the remainder. We're more interested in the remainder. It is the remainder that tells us how it is related to modulo 5. So 15 times 26 is 390. And so what we want to do is to divide 390 by 5. 5 into 39 is 7. Into 40 is 8. So there's no remainder. So since there's no remainder, this in modulo 5 is 15 times 26 in modulo 5 is 0 mod 5. 13 says solve 2 to power 3x equals 16 to power 3 over 4. So what we simply do here is put 16 in index of 2. So we'll get 2 to power 3x equals 2 to power 4 is 16. And this is same raised to power 3 over 4. And you know, from product rule in indices, these two can multiply. So this can cancel this. So we'll have 2 to power 3x equals 2 to power 3. From laws of indices, if the base are the same, the powers have to be the same. So 3x have to equal 3. And 3x have to equal 1. 14 says if Olu, Tony, and Tunde share 240,000 in the ratio of 2:3:5 respectively, what is 2/3 of Tunde's share? So this is under ratio. So you want to get what Tunde's share is first before you go ahead to find 2/3 of his share. How do we get Tunde's share? It's simply the ratio of Tunde. Tunde is the last person over the total ratio times what they are sharing. So Tunde's share, my best friend in school, in high school, there used to be Tunde. So Tunde's share is 5 over 2 plus 3 plus 5 times how much they are sharing. So this is simply 5 over, this is 10 times 240. This cancel this. And 5 times, an easier way to do this is 10 times this, which is 240,000 divided by 2. We times by 2 and divide by 2. So this is simply 120,000. So this is what Tunde's share is. And so 2/3 of Tunde's share, 2/3 of Tunde's share is 2/3 times 120,000. 3 can go 120,000, 40,000, and 2 times 40,000 is 80,000. So this is what 2/3 of Tunde's share is. Question 15 says, arrange the following fractions in ascending order of magnitude: 2 over 3, 3 over 5, 5 over 12, 4 over 15, 3 over 10. There are a couple ways by which you can arrange this in ascending order. You can choose to use your calculator and change it to decimal and then check which is smaller. You arrange it from the smallest to the biggest. But let's do as though we are going to sum it and look for the fraction. So the LCM of this, the LCM of everything here is 60. 3 into 60 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. 5 into 60 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 into 60 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 15 into 60 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And 10 into 60 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So arranging it in ascending order from the smallest is 16, which is 4 over 15, followed by 18, which is 3 over 10, followed by 25, which is 5 over 12, followed by 36, which is 3 over 5, followed by 40, which is 2 over 3. This is the ascending order. 16 says, find the value of x, y, and z respectively, for which x, 2y, z, 9 equals 4, 12, 3, 9. So the property we use here in matrices is two matrices are equal if their corresponding entries are the same. That is only when we are guaranteed for two matrices to be equal. They are of the same size and their corresponding entries have to be the same. So for that reason, x is 4, 2y have to be 12, so that if you divide by 2, y is 6, and then z have to be 3. So in order, we have 4, 6, 3. 17 says, if P is this and Q is this, find PQ. So this is simply multiplication of matrices. So PQ is minus 1, 2, 3, 1, multiply 2, 3, 2, 1. Remember, this is matrix product. How we do it is the rows multiplies the column. So the rows multiplies the column. So if we do that, we'll have, let me just open it up. Minus 1 times 2 plus 2 times 2. For this, minus 1 times 3 plus 2 times 1. For this, 3 times 2 plus 1 times 2. For this, 3 times 3 plus 1 times 1. And so we'll get minus 1 times 2 is minus 2 plus 4. This is minus 3 plus 2. This is 6 plus 2. This is 9 plus 1. And finally, we'll get minus 2 plus 4 is same as 4 minus 2. 2. This is minus 1. This is 8. And this is 10. So this is the product of these two. Mind you, QP is not the same as PQ, so don't make that mistake. Evaluate log 16 base 4, log 27 base 3, minus log 4096 base 8. We can put this in their respective index, so this will be log. I express this as 4 to power 2 base 4. I can express this as 3 to power 3 base 3. I can express this as 8 to power 4 base 8. For laws of logarithm, the power can multiply the log. So this is 2 log 4 base 4 plus 3 log 3 base 3 minus 4 log 8 base 8. And also from laws of logarithm, the log of a number to its base is 1. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So we are left with 2 plus 3 minus 4. And 2 plus 3 is 5 minus 4 is 1. 19 says, solve the equation 4x over 5 minus 7 over 3 equals 5s over 12. We can simply multiply through by the LCM. And what's the LCM? 60. So to multiply through by the LCM, I have 60 times 4x over 5 minus 60 times 7 over 3 equals to 60 times 5x over 12. 5 into 60 is 12. 3 into 60 is 20. 12 into 60 is 5. 12 times, we have 12 times 4x minus 20 times 7 equals to 5 times 5x. This is 48x minus 140 equals 25x. So this can come over here. 48x minus 25x equals 140. 48x minus 25x is simply 23. So this will be 23x equals 140 divided by 23. That x is 23 can go 140 6 times, remaining 2 over 23. 20 says if f of x is 3x squared minus 9x minus 5, find f of minus 3. F of minus 3 simply means substitute minus 3 for x in this. So f of minus 3 will be 3 minus 3 squared minus 9 minus 3 minus 5. 3, 9. Minus times minus is plus. 9 times 3 is 27 minus 5. This is 27 plus 27 minus 5. 27 plus 27 is 54 minus 5, and this is 49. 21 says, find u in terms of f and v in the relation. So this is just saying, make q the subject of formula. So what you want to do first is take this to the left-hand side. So we'll have 1 over u will be 1 over f minus 1 over v. So what's the LCM here? The LCM is simply fv. If f go into fv, you get v times 1 v minus, if v go into fv, you get f times 1, get f. This is 1 over u. And so at this point, I can flip both the left and the right hand side. Why I can do that is because we just have one term here and one term here. So u will simply be fv over v minus f. That's all. 22 says, find the quadratic equation whose roots are -1 and 5. There are two ways we can do this, but if we want to go through saying let alpha and beta be the roots, we know that the formula is s squared minus alpha plus beta, the sum of the root x, plus alpha beta, the product of the root, equals 0. So if we do that, alpha plus beta from here will be, if this is alpha, this is beta, -1 plus 5, which is 4. Alpha beta will be -1 times 5, this is -5. So if we substitute it here, we'll get x squared minus the sum is 4x and the product is -5 equals 0. 23 says the product of two numbers is 40 and their sum is 13. Find the numbers. So let s and y be the number. So the product is 40, meaning xy is 40 and their sum is 13. X plus y is 13. I can substitute. If I make s the sort of formula here, I can have 13 minus y. I can put it into this place so that I'll have, in place of s, I'll have 13 minus y times y equals 40. If I open the bracket, I'll have 13y minus y squared equals 40. If I take this to the right, everything to the right hand side, I'll get y squared minus 13y plus 40 equals 0. Two numbers you multiply to get 40, and when you add, you get minus 13 will be -8 minus 5. So because the coefficient here is 1, I can open two brackets, y, so -8 minus 5. So the two numbers will be 8 and 5. So these are the two numbers such that their product is 40, correct, and their sum is 13. 24 says if x plus 6 is a factor of x squared plus 4x minus 12, find the other factor. So what we can do here is to divide that quadratic expression by this factor and then get a sense of what the other factor is. If we do that, x plus 6 into s squared plus 4x minus 12. X into s squared is x times x is x squared times 6 is 6x. We subtract, this here is 0. 4x minus 6x is minus 2x. X into minus 2, x is minus 2. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Of course, we can bring this down, minus 12. Minus 2 times 6 is minus 12. And this is 0, 0. Therefore, the other factor is simply this quotient here is x minus 2. 25 says, calculate the midpoint of the line joining 8, minus 3 and minus 2, 3. The formula for midpoint is simply x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. That is, this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. So if we substitute, x1 is 8, x2 is minus 2, y1 is minus 3, y2 is 3. 8 minus 2 is 6 over 2 is 3. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0 over 2 is 0. So that's the midpoint. 26 says, calculate the gradient of a line joining the points -2, -5, and 4, 8, correct to one decimal place. The formula for gradient is simply y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that is, this is our x2, y2, this is our x1, y1. So y2 minus y1 is 8 minus minus 5 because this is minus over s2 is 4 minus minus 2. This should give us 8 plus 5 over 4 plus 2. 8 plus 5 is 13 and 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 into 13 can go 2 times. Remember 1 into 10 is 1. Remember 4 into 40 is 6. Remember 4. So this is like C6. So to one decimal place, after point, the one decimal place, since the next 10 is above 5, you can round it up and add here. So it's approximately 2.2 to one decimal place. Question 27 says, given the statement P, all terrorists are guilty, Q, all terrorists are criminals, write the statement in symbolic form. All terrorists are not guilty but criminals. So what you are writing is, we agree that even though it was said that all terrorists are guilty, we are proposing that all terrorists are not guilty. And how we write all terrorists are not guilty is negation P, which is all terrorists are guilty, but criminals, meaning being criminals, accept the initial proposition. All terrorists are criminals. So this statement, all terrorists are not guilty, all terrorists are not guilty, and they are criminals. This is how I write it. They are not guilty, but they are criminals. Simplify x plus 1 over 3 over x plus 1 over 2. An easier way to do this is to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the LCM of 1 over 3 and 1 over 2. What's the LCM between 3 and 2? Is 6. So if I multiply both sides, x plus 1 over 3, 6, x plus 1 over 2. And so if I multiply across, 6 times x is 6s, 6 times 1 over 3 is 2, 6 times x is 6x, 6 times 1 over 2 is 3. So that is a much simpler form of this. Find the equation of a line whose gradient is 6 and y-intercept is minus 7. There's a formula for it. The formula says y equals ms plus c. The equation of a line passing through a point. The gradient is 6. This m stands for the gradient, this stands for the intercept. So the equation will simply be 6x minus 7. Simple. Question 30 says, find the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation x squared minus 5s plus 6 equals 0. I mean, there are two ways we can go about this. We can decide to factorize it and then find at the end of the day that the factors are minus 2, minus 3. And when we find what x is 2 and 3. And then if we sum it, it will be 5. The much simpler way is using the fact that if alpha and beta are the roots, alpha plus beta is simply minus b over a. And this is a, this is b, this is c. Minus b is minus 5 over 1. This is simply 5. This is much simpler than looking for the roots and then summing it. Find the root of the equation. To find this root, 8s squared minus 6x minus 9 equals 0. First of all, times 8 times minus 9 is minus 72. What are two numbers such that when we multiply, we get minus 72, and when we add, we get minus 6? The two numbers that comes to mind will likely be minus 12 and plus 6. And for us to do that, we'll open bracket x, x. Because the coefficient here is 8, I can bring it out. Because the coefficient here is 8, I can bring it out and then divide these two numbers by the 8. So we have minus 12 over 8 and plus 6 over 8, which is much easier. So we have 8, 4 here is 3 over 2, x, 2 here is 3 over 4. So equals 0. So I can split this 8 into 2 times 4 such that the 2 will multiply this and the 4 will multiply this. 2x minus 3 over 2 and 4x plus 3 over 4 equals 0. If I multiply this, I'll have 2x minus 3. I multiply this, I'll have 4x plus 3. We have to find the root. So if I equate each of these to 0, I will have that 2x minus 3 equals 0 or 4x plus 3 equals 0. If I take this to the right hand side and divide by 2, x will be 3 over 2 or minus 3 over 4. 32 says expand this. So how we do expand is this multiply the whole of this minus this multiply the whole of this. So 2x multiply 3x plus 4 minus 3 multiply 3x plus 4. If I multiply 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Minus 3 times 3x is minus 9x. Minus 3 times 4 is minus 12. We collect like terms. 6x squared. These two are like terms. 8x minus 9x is minus x minus 12. So this is the expansion of this. 33 says the difference between the present ages of two brothers is 6 and their product is 135. What is the sum of their ages? So let x and y be their present ages. So the difference between the brothers is 6, meaning x minus y equals 6 and their product is 135. xy equals 135. Can make s the subject of formula here. I will get x equals y plus 6. I substitute it here. Call this 1, call this 2, put it in equation 2. I will have y plus 6 times y equals 135. If I open the bracket, I have y squared plus 6y. I take this to the left hand side, I have minus 135. I look for two numbers such that when I multiply, I get 135. And when I add, I get 6. The two numbers that comes to mind is 15 times 9. So because of minus here, to be 15 and minus 9. And because we have unity here, just open bracket. I'll have y plus 15, y minus 9, so that my y will be minus 15 and 9. But you know, ages cannot be negative, so our y will be 9, so that our x will be 9 plus 6, which is 15. But we are asked to look for the sum of their ages. Sum will be 15 plus 9, which is 24. 34 says, in this diagram, PQS is a circle with center O, ROST is a tangent at X, and angle SOP is 120 degrees. Find angle PST. Find angle PST. This is the angle we are looking for. So what I usually advise my students is start from the angle you know. So from this angle that is given, what can you see? We can easily see that we can get here from angle at center twice as circumference. So angle PQS, angle PQS is simply half of this, 120 over 2, which is 60 degrees, because angle at center twice at circumference. But what we are looking for is this. Angle PST is simply this angle here, this 60 degrees, because angles in the alternate segment. So when you have these circle theorems handy, you can easily address any question at all. I've done justice to circle theorem. You can check my video on that. 35 says in figure 3.2, A, B, C, D are points on a circle with center O. Line BA is produced to M if angle MAD is 82 degrees and angle ADO is 74 degrees. Find angle ABO. We are looking for angle ABO, this angle. Let's call it S. Like I said, always start from what you are given. We are given this. We are given this. From this, what can we see? We know that if we get this angle, we get this angle, we already know this angle, we can get this. So I can get what this is, right? So angle BAD is simply 180 minus 82 degrees, because angle on a straight line. And that will give us 180 minus 82 is 98 degrees. And so we have gotten here as 98 degrees. With this, I can get what this is by saying angle at center twice angle at circumference. So reflex angle BOD is simply 2 times 98 degrees. And 2 times 98 degrees is 196 degrees. And so, how about this? How do we get this? Obtuse angle BOD is simply 360 minus 196. The fact that angle at a point is 360. So if I subtract this from 360, I should get this. And 360 minus 196 is 164 degrees. And since I have known this, I know this, I know this, I know this, I can easily get S, because X plus 164 plus 74 plus 98 should give me 360. Sum of angle in a quadrilateral. And if we sum this up, we'll get S plus 336 equals 360. So that our X will be 360 minus 336. Our X is simply 24 degrees. Question 36 says, calculate the area of trapezium ABCD in the figure 3.3. We don't know what the height is. Remember that area of a trapezium is half A plus B times height, where A is the length of the top, B is the length of the bottom, H is the height. So for us to calculate the height, we can use trigonometric ratio. You know, from trigonometric ratio, we know here as 12. We know this angle. What is this? This is simply opposite over hypotenuse. So we can use sine 30 degrees equals to H over 12. So that H is 12 times sine 30. And sine 30 we know is 1 over 2. So that H is 6 cm. Now, since we have gotten h, we can now look for area, which is half. A is 8, B is 16, and height is 6. 2 can divide 6 3 times. 8 plus 16 is 24, and 24 times 3 is simply 72 centimeters square. Question 37 says, a boy walked 4 kilometers due west. Let's sketch that. Assuming the boy is here, this is north, south, east, and west. So he walks 4 kilometers due west. Let's call it 4 kilometers. He then changes direction and walks on a bearing of 214 degrees until he is southwest of his starting point. This is southwest of his starting point. So this is his new location. He changes direction 214 degrees. So you know we measure bearing from the North Pole. So this is 180. 214 degrees will be in between 180 and 270. So you have to draw it from here. And this is southwest of his starting point. So means we are accurately correct. We are not told how far is he from his starting point. So if we call here P, here Q, here R, we are actually looking for the distance of this. Let's call it X. How far is he from his starting point? So what you want to see is that if here is 214 degrees, you will notice that from here to here will be 214 minus 90 because this is 90 degrees. And 214 minus 90 will be 124 degrees. And so since he is directly southwest from his starting point, from here to this is 45 degrees. Because that is where southwest is. And if here is 45 degrees, here is 124 degrees, we can get what here is by subtracting it from 180. So let's call here theta. We can get our theta. Our theta will simply be 180 minus 124 plus 45. This is 180 minus 124 plus 45 is 169. And if we subtract, this will be 11 degrees. So theta is 11 degrees. Now, how do we find this distance? We can remember sine rule. Since we know this angle, we know we're looking for this, and we know this distance, we know this angle. From sine rule, you can say x over sine 124 must equal this 4 kilometers over this theta we have gotten, which is 11 degrees, sine 11 degrees. This is sine rule. And so to get s, it will be 4 sine 124 degrees over sine 11. If we press this on a calculator, we get 17.37 degrees. We are asked to leave it to one decimal place, which is approximately 17 after decimal point, the first digit. Since this is 5 and above, we round it up and put here 17.4 cm. 38 says 2 points P and Q lie on the same great circle. P is on latitude 70 degree north and Q is on latitude 55 degree north. Calculate their difference in latitude. You remember latitude and longitude. Since we are talking about latitude, we're talking about the circles. This is the equatorial, and these are the longitudinal lines. If this is the great circle, so since we are on north pole, 55 degrees north, let's say it is here, 55 degrees north, and 70 degrees north, 70 degrees north. So since we are on the same hemisphere, we simply subtract. But if we are on different hemisphere, we add. So assuming we have north and this is south, we add. But since we are the same north or south, we have to subtract that difference. So their latitudinal difference is simply 70 degrees minus 55 degrees. This will give us 15 degrees. 39 says, a bird which is on top of a building 35-meter high observes a prey 25-meter away. So if this is the building and it's 35-meter high, this is the base. This is 35-meter high. Observe a prey for 25-meter away from the top of the building. So if this is where the prey is, it is 25-meter away from the top of the building. Calculate the angle of depression of the prey from the bed. Remember, angle of depression is this angle here from its normal eye level to this angle of depression. So we're looking for this angle here. If we get what this angle is, we subtract it from 90, we get what theta is. How do we get what this angle is? We can use trigonometric ratio. We know that tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Let's call here alpha. So this is our opposite, this is our adjacent. So this is 25 over 35. So theta will be tan inverse of 25 over 35, which will give us 35.5 degrees. Sorry, let's call here theta and here alpha. So what we're looking for is alpha. Alpha is simply 90 minus 35.5 degrees. This will give us 54.5 degrees. 40 says, calculate the length of an arc which subtends an angle of 66 degrees at the center of a circle of radius 8 cm correct to 1 decimal place. Remember, formula for length of an arc is simply theta over 360 times 2 pi r. We are told that it subtends 66 degrees over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7, and radius is 8. If we do this on our calculator, we'll get 9.219, and to 1 decimal place is approximately 9.2 cm. Question 41 says, find the value of y in this figure. So we're looking for this value of y. If you can know what this value is, y is simply this plus this. So let's call here x. We know that x plus 123 degrees equals 180. The reason is angles on a straight line And so x is 180 minus 123 degrees, which is 57 degrees. And our y is simply 75 degrees plus 57 degrees. The reason is opposite angle of a triangle is the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Let me just write it down. Opposite angle of a triangle equals sum of the two opposite interior angles. And so y is simply, this is 12, remember 1, 7 plus 6 is 13, so it's 132 degrees. 42 says the base radius and height of a cone are 4 cm and 6 cm respectively. Calculate its volume correct to the nearest whole number. You know that the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r square h. So this is 1/3 times 22/7. Radius is 4 cm and square, and height is 6. 3 can go into 6 2 times. So I left with, if we multiply this on a calculator, we'll get 100.57, and to the nearest whole number it is 100. Since this is up to 5, we round it here, and 1 centimeter cube. 43 says find the distance between the points 3 minus 4 and minus 5 2. You know the distance formula is simply s2 minus x1 all square plus y2 minus y1 all square. So if we call this x1 y1 and this x2 y2, we simply plug it into this formula. We get s2 is 3 minus 5 makes it plus 5 square, plus y2 is minus 4 minus 2 square. So this is square root of 3 plus 5 is 8 square, minus 4 minus 2 is minus 6 square, and 8 square is 64, 6 square is 36. This is square root of 100, and this is 10. The distance is 10 square units. 44 says calculate the surface area of a sphere with diameter 10.4 cm correct to 3 significant figures. Take pi to be 3.142. So recall that the total surface area of a sphere is simply 4 pi r square. So we substitute 4 times, remember to take pi to be 3.142, and radius, we are given diameter as 10.4, and we get radius by dividing it by 2. So this will be 10.4 over 2 all square. So this is 4 times 3.142 times 5.2 square. Multiply this on a calculator, we get 339.83. We are asked to correct it to 3 significant figures. So approximately 3 significant figure means the first 3 non-zero digits. So this is 1, 2, 3. Since this is up to 5 and above, we round it up and add here. If we add it here, it becomes 10. Write down 0, carry 1, add it here, it becomes 4. So it is 340 centimeter square. 45 says Obi walks 400 meters to the top of a hill which slopes at an angle 30 degrees to the horizontal. So if this is the horizontal, Obi walks 400 kilometers to the top, and the angle slopes at 30 degrees, 400 kilometers. meters. Pardon me. Determine the height of the hill. So if this is the height of the hill, let's call it height. How we find height? We simply use trigonometric ratio. We know the hypotenuse. We're asked to look for the height. We know the angle. What comes to mind is opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine. Sine 30 degrees is h over 400, and the height we are looking for is simply 400 sine 30. And 400 sine 30, we know that sine 30 is 1 over 2. 2 can go 400. This is 200 meters. So the height of the hill is 200 meters. 46 says the volume of a spherical ball is 114 centimeter cube. Find its radius to the nearest whole number. So you recall that the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cube. So since we are given the volume as 114, this is 4 over 3 pi is 22 over 7 times radius cube. For us to find radius, this is 21. We'll have 21 times 114 over 4 times 22, which is 88. And if we multiply this, we'll get r cube is 27.204, and radius will be square root of cube root of this 7.204, which is 3.007. To the nearest whole number is 3 cm. 47 says find the equation of a line with gradient minus 1 over 4 passing through the point 3,2. So there's a formula for it. The equation of a line passing through a point is simply y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. y1 is 2, we have y minus 2, gradient is minus 1 over 4, we have x minus 3. So if I multiply through by 4, I have 4y minus 8 equals minus x plus 3. If I take x to this place and take minus 8 to here, I have 4y plus x equals 8 plus 3 is 11. This is the equation. 48 says calculate the value of y in this figure, leaving your answer in solved form. So we're looking for this y. What comes to mind is trig ratio. So this is adjacent because that is where these angles are, and this is hypotenuse. Adjacent to hypotenuse is cos. Remember, cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the angle is cos 30 degrees, which is adjacent is y, hypotenuse is 6. Y is simply 6. Cos 30 is root 3 over 2. 2 can go 6 3 times, so y is simply 3 root 3 cm. 49 to 51 says use the information below to answer the questions. Given the following set of numbers 11, 8, 9, 6, 4, 3, 10, 2, 6, 5, calculate the mean. We know that formula for the mean, x bar, is summation of our data over the number of data that we have. So this will give us 11 plus 8 plus 9 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 10 plus 2 plus 6 plus 5. Everything divided by how many numbers or data we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Divided by 10. So if we add this, 11 plus 9 is 20, 28, 34, 38, 41, 51, 53, 59, 64. So we have 64 over 10. And to divide this, we have 6.4. Find the median. For us to find the median, we either arrange it in ascending order or descending order. Let's do ascending order. The smallest is 2. We have 3. We have 4. We have 5. We have 6 twice. We have, there's no 7. We have 8. We have 9. We have 10 and we have 11. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct. So the median is simply the data in the middle. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So since it's an even number, we'll have two data at the middle, which are 6 and 6. Because we have 4 here, we have 4 here. So for us to get the median is simply the average of these two numbers we have at the middle, which will be 6 plus 6 over 2, which is 12 over 2, which is 6. That's the median. And find the mode. The mode is simply the data that occurs the most, that have the highest frequency. If we check this very closely, we see that only 6 is repeated twice. The rest happen to be once. So the mode is 6, which is the most occurring data. Question 52 says, find the range of the following set of numbers: 4, 9, 6, 3, 2, 8, 10, 7, 11. By range, we simply means the difference between the highest number in the data minus the smallest number in the data. And so range is highest number minus lowest number. And so the highest number we can see here is 11. The lowest number we can see here is 2. And so the range is 9. 53 says, calculate the variance of the following set of numbers. For us to calculate variance, we need to get the mean first. The mean is simply the summation of the data over the number of data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this gives us 30 plus 28 plus 35 plus 25 plus 37 over 5. If we sum this up, we'll get 155 over 5. And if we divide, we'll get 31. Now, the formula for variance is summation of f over x minus x bar all square over summation of the frequency. So what we have to do now is, since none of them repeated, we'll simply do this minus the mean and square. So 30 minus 31 square plus 28 minus 31 square plus 35 minus 31 square plus 25 minus 31 square plus 37 minus 31 square. Everything divided by the number of frequency, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And so 30 minus 31 is 1 square plus 28 minus 31 is minus 3. Minus 3 square is 9. 35 minus 31 is 4. 4 square is 16. 25 minus 31 is 6. Minus 6. Minus 6 square is 36. 37 minus 31 is 6. And 6 square is 36 over 5. If we add this, 36 plus 36 is 72. 72 plus 10 is 82. 82 plus 10 is 92. 92 plus 6 is 98. 98 over 5. And so 5 into 9 is 1. Into 48 is 9. Remainder 3. Into 30 is 6. We get 19.6. 54 says, if the tickets numbered 1 to 16 inclusive are mixed up and a ticket is drawn at random, what's the probability that the ticket drawn is a multiple of 2 or 3? Multiple of 2 are those numbers 2 can divide in that ticket number, and multiple of 3 are numbers 3 can divide in that ticket number. Let's roll out the multiple of 2. Multiple of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Since it's 1 and 16 inclusive, multiple of 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we are asked to look for the probability that the ticket drawn is a multiple of 2 or 3. Remember, for us to get the probability of a multiple of 2 or 3, we have to check if there is any intersection between both of them. So multiple of 2 and 3 together will be, what are the things that appear in both of them? We have 6, we have 12. There's no other one. So 6 and 12. The probability of multiple of 2 or 3 is simply probability of multiple of 2 plus probability of multiple of 3 minus probability of multiple of 2 intersect 3. Multiple of 2 is simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 over 16. Multiple of 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 over 16. A multiple of both of them will be minus 2 over 16. So what we'll have is 8 plus 5 is 13, minus 2 is 11. This will give us 11 over 16. #55 says the following are the lucky numbers in a raffle draw: 4, 5, 12, 22, 8, 3, 6, 10, 9, 7, 25, 12, 10, 14, 27. If a number is picked as random, what's the probability that it's a perfect cube? A perfect cube is simply a number such that a lesser number multiplying itself give that number. For instance, 1 is a perfect cube because 1 cube, meaning 1 times 1 times 1 gives 1. 8 is a perfect cube rather, because 2 cube, 2 times 2 times 2 gives 8. 27 is a perfect cube because 3 cube, and so on. 64, 4 cube. And so the first thing you want to do is to look for the perfect cube here before looking for the probability. So the perfect cube in this are, we have 8 and we have 27. So that the probability of a perfect cube will be 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is 1 over 8. 56 says the probability that it will rain in Lagos and Oyo on the same day are 3 over 4 and 1 over 2 respectively. Find the probability that it will not rain in both towns on the same day. So what you want to do here is to find the probability that it will not rain in Oyo and it will not rain in Lagos separately. And the probability that it will not rain in both towns is simply the product of the probability that it will not rain in Oyo and it will not rain in Lagos. Let's do that right away. So probability rains in Lagos is 3 over 4 and probability it does not rain is 1 minus probability it rains, which is 1 over 4. So because we know probability of success plus probability of failure equals 1. And secondly, probability it rains in Oyo is 1 over 2 and probability it does not rain is simply 1 minus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2. So therefore, probability it does not rain in both towns on the same day will be 1 over 4 times 1 over 2, the product, which is 1 over 8. 57 says, this table shows the ages of students, meaning 4 students are of age 16 years, 8 students are of age 17 years, 6 students are of age 18 years. Calculate what's the probability that a student choosing at random is less than 18 years. A student choosing at random is less than 18 years. So we have to look for the number of students less than 18 years, this plus this, over the total number of students. Let's look for number of students first. Number of students is 4 plus 8 plus 6. This is 18. Number of students less than 18 years is simply 4 plus 8, which is 12. So probability of students less than 18 years is simply number of the students less than 18 years over total number of students, 12 over 18. 6 can go. This is 2 over 3. The next question says, use the information below to answer the questions 58 to 60. A particle moves a distance of s meters where x is 5t cubed minus 12t squared plus 7. This is the distance. At what time is the acceleration equals 0? Remember, if you want to get velocity from distance, you simply differentiate this distance with respect to t. And if you want to get acceleration from velocity, you differentiate the velocity with respect to t. That's acceleration. So the velocity is simply the x, the t, which is this times this, 15, subtract 1 from this square, minus this times this, 24, subtract 1. If you differentiate a constant, is 0. So the next thing we want to look for is acceleration. Acceleration is differentiation of this velocity with respect to time. If I differentiate this, 2 times 15, 30, subtract 1 t, 1 times 24, 24, subtract 1, 0. So we are asked to look for at what time is the acceleration equals to 0. So we equate this to 0. So 30t equals 24. divide by 30, divide by 30. T is simply 6 can go here. 4 times 6 here is 5. It's just 4 over 5. And 4 over 5 is 0.8 seconds. 59 says, find the velocity after 3 seconds. You simply substitute 3 for t in the velocity. You know that velocity is the x, the t, which is 15t squared minus 24t. We substitute 3, we have 15 times 3 squared minus 24 times 3. 3 squared is 9, 15 times 9 minus 24 times 3 is 72. And if we subtract this, we have 63 meter per second. 60 says, find the acceleration after 12 seconds. We go to the acceleration again. We know that acceleration is the v, the t, which gave us 30t minus 24. We substitute 12 for t, which is 30 times 12 minus 24. 30 times 12 is simply 360 minus 24. And 360 minus 24 is 336 meter per second square. Thank you for watching to the end. If this is your first time watching Philemathics series, kindly like this video, subscribe, and share to your friends. Till we meet again, keep enjoying mathematics. Bye.